Mr. Speaker. This is a very simple amendment. It provides a title for this bill, I think, that is very appropriate.
I'm not trying to speak.
The title would be the Darwin Award Act. Now, for you boomers out there, you may not know what the Darwin Award is, but it salutes the improvement of the human genome, honoring those who accidentally remove themselves from this world in a spectacular manner. And ladies and gentlemen, I think that is what this bill is trying to do. I will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that it might sound good to you to remove doctors from the process of advising their patients on the use of ivermectin. However, no mainstream medical groups in the United States have recommended that ivermectin be sold over the counter. In fact, leading organizations like the American Medical Association, the American Pharmacists Association, and the American Society of Health Systems Pharmacists have officially opposed the policy that this legislature is seeking to enact. In fact, it notes, a simple search, that the primary push to make ivermectin available without a prescription does not come from any medical group. It comes from state legislators. And why do we require some medications and not others to be prescribed by a doctor?
Yeah.
It pains me to have to explain this to this body. But in Texas, certain medicines require a prescription to protect patients from potentially harmful effects if used without a doctor's supervision. I have no idea,
Mr. Speaker.
members, why we are trying to remove doctors from the relationship with their patients
Mr. Riddell, for what purpose?
to oversee
Will the gentleman yield
the
for
use
questions?
of ivermectin.
Will the gentleman yield for questions?
Not at this time.
Not at this time.
I'll wait till you're done.
Thank you. The removal of doctors from this equation and simply allowing pharmacists to do this through rules at the pharmacy board, in my view, makes no sense. Because risks of use of any prescription drug, including ivermectin, have side effects when combined with other drugs. A pharmacist likely will not know that. A doctor will absolutely know that. And you can throw up your hands, Ms. Pink. But that is the absolute truth. A doctor will know what drugs you're taking and know if ivermectin has side effects with that drug. A pharmacist may not. And it is irresponsible of this legislature to simply defer to pharmacists who are, in many ways, no more than pill counters. They count the pills and make sure that the pills you are getting from a prescription are correct. Yes, they administer COVID vaccines by way of example. Yes, they can provide you with general information, but they are not doctors. And I'm wondering why this bill does not call for rules made by the medical board that oversees doctors, but instead is placed over with the pharmaceutical board that oversees pharmacists. And members, I think we are setting a very dangerous precedent. I think removing doctors from the equation, from the ability to prescribe this drug that will have side effects and other interactions with other drugs, is a dangerous precedent. And again, I will reiterate that no medical association recommends selling ivermectin over the counter. Zero, none, nada. Because we're increasing risks to public health by removing doctors, I think the Darwin Award title is aptly placed.
Mr. Vidal, for what purpose?
Will the gentleman yield for questions?
Will the gentleman yield for questions?
With great pleasure.
The gentleman
Thanks, sir.
yields.
I've got start off with 3 questions. One is, are you saying that your constituents that use ivermectin are idiots?
Did you hear me in my,
Yes.
because I think this is an easy answer. I think this is an easy answer.
I did hear you do that.
Hold on. Did you hear me use the word idiot?
Yeah, you said those who self-deject themselves from society.
I'm sorry. Did you hear me use the word idiot?
Paraphrase, yes.
No, I did not. So the answer to your first question is
Well, you know you said it.
the answer to your first question is emphatically no.
So you don't think people, your constituents, are idiots for choosing to use ivermectin?
I don't think my constituents are idiots, period.
Okay, well, it sounds like you said that earlier. So next question.
No,
Is-
I think you just simply either misheard it or gratuitously misconstrued that.
Yep, let's go to the next question.
agree.
Is it true that you have advocated for minors to have access to abortion pills without oversight?
Nothing to do with this bill.
But it is, isn't it?
Nope.
So you're against ivermectin, but you're for that, just
Nope.
to be fair.
Nope.
So
That too is a mischaracterization of my statements.
So you're against minors being able to have access to abortion pills.
Members, confine your remarks to the subject matter of the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I was confused
right.
by the line of questioning.
Question withdrawn on that. Next one, is it true you've supported hormone blockers for adolescents, but you're against this?
Also, nothing to do with this bill. So if you want to ask me questions about the amendment, happy to answer them.
So you're not willing to answer the questions. Thank you.
I think it's just not a relevant question.
Copy that.
I appreciate you.
Mr. Speaker, will the
Mr.
gentleman yield?
Will the gentleman yield for questions?
Yes, Congressman Toth.
The gentleman yields.
That's cute.
So are you.
Now that's a misstatement. Okay, are you familiar with the Henry Ford study on therapeutics during the COVID era in 2020?
Did you say Henry Ford?
The Henry Ford Clinic in Dearborn, Michigan.
The Henry Ford Clinic? No, I am not.
2,500 people were looked at retrospectively for use of therapeutics
By whom?
by the health system,
But
By
it
the
was
Henry-
by physicians,
by
correct?
physicians in the Henry
By
Ford
doctors.
Clinic. Right.
Yes. Okay.
Correct. And it was a retrospective study, meaning they looked back at people that had used therapeutics, some that were given those therapeutics the day they died, some that were given early on. All in all, there was a 50% reduction in the mortality rate at the end of it. The Henry Ford Clinic then asked the Food and Drug Administration, can we do a full-blown study, double-blind study? Do you know what the FDA said?
No.
That's correct. They said no. They would not let them do a full-blown study.
I'm glad, Mr. Toth, that you agree with me that when you're studying or when you're treating patients, that doctors, not pharmacists, but doctors should be in charge.
Doctors are not in charge, though, Mr.
And so
Anchia,
just really
that's the
quickly,
point.
doctors are in charge at the FDA. Doctors are in charge in the double-blind test at the Henry Ford Clinic. Doctors are in charge.
Doctors have been denied, Mr. Anchia. Don't you understand? Doctors have been denied the
I'd like
ability
to finish.
do a double-blind study.
I'd-
You're conflating what I'm saying.
I'd like
You're
to finish-
conflating what the study shows.
Members, please refrain from speaking over each other so that the rest of the body can hear your responses and questions.
Thank you, Mr. Toth. I'd like to finish my answer, if that's okay.
You bet.
Okay. So doctors were in charge of, I think you even said that doctors were in charge of that very study
Gentleman's
related.
time has expired.
Thank
Can we
you.
have an extension?
Members, you've heard the motion. Is there objection? The chair hears none, and the gentleman's time is extended.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Toth, I'll finish my answer. My point in answering your question was that doctors are involved currently in the trials that you were discussing. Doctors are involved on the medical teams at the FDA, and doctors currently in the state of Texas are involved in prescribing ivermectin for human use. That is not the question today, right? Doctors currently in the state of Texas can prescribe this to their patients if they think there's medical efficacy. What this bill does, it says, no, we're going to allow people, we're going to take the doctors out of the equation. We're going to allow people just to go to a pharmacist. Pharmacists are not trained to do this type of work. They do not know what other drugs people are taking, right? They do not know, and they don't know what the side effects are. So that's my point. That's my point, that this is dangerous because you're removing doctors from the equation.
So for clarification from what you just said, so that I understand fully,
yes,
you're making the statement that pharmacists are not qualified, but doctors are.
Doctors, what my statement, just to be clear, is doctors are far more qualified than pharmacists to dispense ivermectin.
So do you understand that we would not be here today if pharmacists across the state of Texas were filling prescriptions that doctors were making on a regular basis, and they were refusing to fulfill those prescriptions? You don't understand that?
You're going to have to explain that to me
You
again.
may want to talk to Dr. Oliverson about that, and he'll tell you.
You're going to have to
That's one of
explain
the
that.
problems.
So
Scripts were
two
written.
things.
Let me finish. Scripts were written for people to take ivermectin
From?
and pharmacists by doctors in Texas locally, and pharmacists refuse to fill them. Ask Dr. Oliverson
and
about
why
it. He'll
is
tell
that?
you about that.
And what is the reasoning behind that?
Because they're not qualified. You recently said that. You earlier said
No.
that
I'm
pharmacists
sorry.
are not qualified to make these judgments.
I think, so a doctor who has prescribed ivermectin for their patient, right? A pharmacist is refusing to fill the prescription, and what reasons are they giving?
Because they're ignorant. They don't give prescription. They don't give explanations.
So the
I mean, you recently just said it. You said pharmacists are not qualified.
So they're not qualified to prescribe, certainly.
Correct.
Right. Doctors, what I said, are more qualified than pharmacists to prescribe ivermectin and
Right.
understand what the reactions are to this medicine. So what I didn't understand from your statement is who is ignorant in this case? Is it the pharmacists themselves?
The
Okay.
pharmacists.
So you say pharmacists are ignorant, yet you want them to be able to dispense ivermectin over the counter. I just want to understand what you just said. You said pharmacists are ignorant, yet you want them to dispense this ivermectin. Did I hear that right?
Doctors
Did
are
I-
being foiled by pharmacists. You can't have it both ways.
No.
At one
I'm
point
just trying to repeat
At one
to
point, you want
you.
to say that
I'm just trying to repeat to you what I thought I just heard from you.
Members, please refrain from speaking over each other.
Thank
I
you,
guess
Mr.
you made
Speaker.
the point.
That doctors,
you made the point, Mr. Anchia, that pharmacists weren't qualified to be able to dispense this.
I'll
And
repeat it again. Pharmacists are less qualified than doctors to do this.
And yet, when doctors prescribe it, pharmacists won't fill it.
And is that every pharmacist across the state? I'm sorry. I
It's been
guess
enough
I would need some data to verify. Do you have data to suggest that pharmacists across the state on a blanket basis are not filling this prescription?
I would encourage you to talk with Dr. Oliverson and other doctors that have told me that we would not be here today if it wasn't for the fact that pharmacists won't fill prescriptions.
So is it your assertion that zero pharmacists in this state are filling prescriptions for ivermectin?
Of course we're not saying zero over the fact
What
that
percentage then? I would ask you, because anecdote is nice, but what percentage of pharmacists are not filling prescriptions for ivermectin?
we wouldn't be here today if this was if they were being readily filled. But let's move on to the next
No.
question.
I mean, I think that's irrelevant. Before you make that statement, what data are you relying on other than maybe an anecdotal conversation?
Mr. Anchia, if it's more than one, it's too many because people are being denied the ability to receive treatment.
Okay, is it more than one?
Of course it's more than one.
Is it more than 10?
Of course it is.
Is it more than 100?
Mr. Anchia, I actually called multiple pharmacists in my area for people that were looking to get hydroxychloroquine or ivermectin that was prescribed by a doctor, and I could not find anyone in the Woodlands to fill a prescription.
How many did you call?
Maybe a dozen.
Okay, and okay,
One more question, Mr. Anchia.
sure.
Are you familiar with Dr. Mary Bowden?
No,
She's treated over 6,000 people with ivermectin.
but she's a doctor.
She is a doctor. But
That's what I'm saying.
But the Texas
You're making my point.
The Texas Medical Board is.
You are making my point.
You
If
are
she's a
making my
doctor,
point, but the
if
Texas
she's a
Medical
doctor,
Board.
I'm saying keep it in the doctors.
Members,
But the
the
Texas
member
Medical.
at the back mic may ask questions. The member at the front mic may answer the question.
But the Texas Medical Board has been trying to put her out of business, has been trying to take her license away. Do you think that's right?
That's the Texas Medical Board. I have no idea what their reason is, why they're trying to take her license away.
She's treated over 6,000 people with
And
ivermectin.
she's a doctor.
She is a doctor.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker,
For what purpose?
does the gentleman yield for questions?
Will the gentleman yield for questions?
With great pleasure.
The
Thank
gentleman
you so
yields.
much. Would you, have you looked at the co-author list on this bill, sir?
No.
Did you know that a doctor, actually a neurosurgeon, co-authored this bill?
And I don't understand the point.
Well, the point is you're asking for your basis about doctors, and I'm telling you a veterinarian, an anesthesiologist, and a brain surgeon on the House floor co-authored this bill.
And so did a salon owner. But I'm not trying to understand your point.
Well, you're barking about doctors know best. They co-authored the bill, sir.
What I'm pointing out, and I'll repeat it for you since you missed it. No major mainstream medical group have recommended that ivermectin be sold over the counter. In fact, leading organizations like the American Medical Association, the American Pharmacists Organization, and the American Society of Health System Pharmacists have all opposed it. So whether a salon owner or a doctor on this House floor is a co-author is immaterial to that observation.
So do you have constituents in your area that cannot afford to go to a doctor?
I imagine, yes, I do, certainly.
And so are you denying them the right to go to the pharmacy directly and get care for themselves that they feel will help them?
No, in fact, what I do is fight for expanded health care so that they can go. Stuff that you vote against. Stuff that you vote against.
So
you deny my constituents that. So don't be coming at me saying that my constituents can't do it.
Members,
no, all I'm hearing is an individual knows what's right for them, and they want to decide what medicine they take, and you're denying them that.
I appreciate that non-question.
Ms. Jones, for what purpose?